Peace.
Peace, Allah.
Peace. My name is Now Allah, and I'm facilitating the Region 4 conference. Gods and earths that are real and building, know who the true and living gods and earths are. That's our mission. Region 4, we have security codes. Our security is wearing yellow. The greeting committee wears blue. The food committee green, and the presenters orange. Region 4 consists of 5 states. That is Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. And within Region 4, we have cities that the knowledge is developing in. And some of them are Virginia Beach, Newport News, Hampton, Norfolk, and Richmond. That's Virginia. In North Carolina, we have Charlotte, which is known as Queen City. Richmond is known as Richmond by the gods and earths. In North Carolina, we have Charlotte, which is Queen City. We have Greensboro, which is known as Godsboro. We have Lexington, which is the heart. And we have Raleigh and Durham, which the gods have yet to tell us what it's called. In South Carolina, we have Columbia and Charleston, where the gods and earths are building. In Atlanta, we have a large garden and Atlanta's metropolitan area. In Florida, we have Jacksonville, which is known as New Judea. We have Miami, Orlando, which is known as Land of the Gold, and Tampa. Our objective is in accord with the regional growth and development of the nation of gods and earths. It is of universal and national concern for builders with the mindset of Allah to bring forth this region event in order to come together and manifest Allah's will. The gods and earths that are real in building Allah's nation, it is incumbent that you know who the true and living gods and earths are, so we can work together for one common cause on a consistent and effective basis to bring about a change for the betterment, the growth and development of the nation of gods and earths. It is urgent that those with the mindset of Allah and the will to make His world manifested come together and make it happen according to His will. So Allah can say, gods and earths, everything is real. It's time that we get things moving and be accountable and responsible for what's going on. Everything is real, God. That's what this is about today. And the only way that it's going to be effective is that we do things on a consistent basis to bring about a change for the better. Everything is real. Everybody say that they want to make it better, then it got to be that way. Because we're the gods and the earths. So be it to be so. It's Allah's will as well as the gods and earths that this takes place. And now is the time. Allah is the God. We are here to bring about a change and make this happen all over the planet Earth. First starting with the regions within our area, which is regions from 1 to 9. We are in region 4. This is what we're held responsible for, where we live and where we rest. This is what we must uplift. Everything. I would like to introduce my brother, God Allah. The Prophet said, go out and get the knowledge and bring it home. And that's what he did. He came to North Carolina, now see. He went out and got the knowledge, which is myself, and he brought me home. Start building from there. God received the knowledge of himself in 1965. born in Mecca at the original Harlem Hospital. He went to PS 79 and Cooper Junior High School. Knowledge was presented to him by A.B.G., Last seventh born. And at the age of 10, he moved with his family to the desert. In 1967, having accepted the name Lati, meaning love Allah, true I. While commuting between the desert, Pilon, and Mecca, he learned the rest of the lessons and changed his name to Rahim God. In May 1970, he had the first 12 children, 9 gods and 3 earths, 9 grandchildren and 1 great-grandchild. He taught wherever he lived and graduated from Harlem Prep in the spring of 1975 and attending York College in the fall. In 1977, after attending York College and living in Medina, he had a vision which caused him to change his name to God Allah. He left the desert in 1988 to bring civilization and now seek and to create an environment good for the growth of the family. This is God Allah, presenting the history of now seek.
Praise God.
Hey.
I arrived here in now see March 16, 1988, and obtained work on April 13th, which is my birthday. 3 months later, I returned to New York to get my family, upon which we began to teach. People here didn't know who Malcolm X was, what a Jew was, what a Puerto Rican was. You know, so we know from that point there that these people were blind, deaf, and dumb. And they needed aid from those with vision. So the foundation was laid from 1988 to 1991, at which time I returned to New York in 1991 and got Now Law. This enabled us to touch more people in different circles, and the young began to blossom. In 1992, I returned to New York to get my younger brother, God Divine. Now Law's brother, Rakim, also came, which spreaded the teachings even more. In 1995, I learned that God understanding, Monique, and Justice from Medina were in Greensboro. We got together to discuss the formulation of parliament, where we would have parliament in each of the cities. At a parliament in Lexington at my house, which appeared in the 5% newspaper, I, God, Eternal, and some other gods and earth came from Charlotte, at which time we agreed to have parliament in Charlotte also. 1 month in Greensboro, next month in Lexington, and then Charlotte. What this would produce was Greensboro's influence on the northern part of the state, Lexington's influence of the central, and Charlotte's influence of the southern part. Together, we'd attract the entire state and some of the southern part of Virginia and northern part of South Carolina. This was a successful task, and we're still reaping the benefits of a law world manifest. And at this time, I'd like to bring my son up, Naheem Raleigh, the law. And he is going to quote from today's degree, so that we know that everything that we accomplish is actually based on a clear foundation. Faith.
Peace.
Peace. My name is Naheem Raleigh, and I'm going to say 19th degree to 10th degree, 16th to 7th to 140. 19th degree and 140. If a civilized person is not performing duty, what must be done? If a civilized person is not performing duty, which is teaching civilization to others, he shall be punished with severe punishment. Is equal. Chapter 3, verse 18. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou shalt give it him, not warning nor speakest to one that wicked of his wicked ways, to save himself. The same wicked man shall die in his iniquity. blood of our fathers that died on. Peace. Peace. I'm gonna say peace. Who is that? Who is that mystery God? There is no mystery God. The Son of Man who has searched for this so-called mystery God for chances years and was unable to find his mystery God. So we have agreed that the only God is the Son of Man. So we lost no time searching for that does not exist.
Allah right here.
16. Who is the prophet of this poor part of the earth? They are the poor righteous teachers who do not believe in the teachings of the 10%, who are all wise and know who the children of God is. The teachers that the children of God is the Son of Man. Who teaches freedom, justice, and equality. Pardon me, 16. Who is the 5% of this poor part of the earth? They are the poor righteous teachers who do not believe in the teachings of the 10%, who are all wise and know who the children of God is. Who teaches that the children of God is the Son of Man, supreme being of black man from faith. Who teaches freedom, justice, and equality to all human families of the planet Earth, otherwise known as the civilized people, Muslim and Muslim sons. I'm gonna say so. 7. How fast is our pie travel? 1,037, 1/3 miles per hour. Peace.
Hey.
Peace. My name is Sequestia, and the one Earth from 1 to 77th degree, and the 1 to 40.
Hey.
How fast does our planet travel? 1,037 and 1/3 miles per hour. Peace.
Peace. Peace. Hey.
My name is Gloria Scott, and I'm a 10th degree and a student around. What is the said birth record of the nation other than Islam? Buddhism 35,000 years old, Christianity 551 years old.
Peace. This is a great event, and right now we have a great speaker that's going to share with the family. This is Almighty God Allah's physical brother. You know, as much as we love Almighty God Allah, He loved him before we even know him. And it's a great honor to have him here today because he can make many things born, you know, that we know not about the Father. Because he is just and true. He's not unseen. He's a man, true and living. This man knew him before we had the pleasure of knowing him. It's Allah.
Peace. It's my first time ever stepping before the gods and the earth and the queens and the babies, you know. But as a whole, I never been to North Carolina. So I always wanted to come here, you know. But I was told my brother said that if you want to see him, you got to come together. You understand? So I'm here. I come here to find out if he is here. And I found out that he was here, you know. I love my brother. It was 6 boys and 1 girl, you know. But 4 of them went home, you know. And me, I'm the baby, you know. And I'm 70 years old. And I expect to go for 110. I know that's what I'm doing. This is the way I'm going to look. I ain't changing on nothing. I'm getting older, but I will never be old. I'm going to keep doing the same thing I always have done, you know. From now all the way up, you know. But I'm happy to be here tonight, you know. And I feel good that dealing with my brother, Wisdom, you know, I passed him, you know, because he went home at the age of close to knowledge, you know. And so I know him, but I know above him because I was 70, you know. So once I can give you what you want to have, you know, all you got to do is come and ask me, you know, and I'll give it to you. But I'm not in the habit of giving out nothing that don't deserve it, you know. I expect, I don't know who is in school as of today, you know, but I would advise everybody here, grown, to go and get that GED, because that's what's going to make the difference. We can be with the GED, we know where to go. We become lawyers, doctors, and everybody else. We need lawyers, we need judges, you understand? In order for us to compete, that's what we need. But everything that we have, we can't compete because it's not none of us. You know, we may have 2 judges on TV. We need judges, we need doctors, we need lawyers. If you don't get this, you're going to always be a slave. You understand? You got to be because you don't know nothing. And don't be ashamed not to go back and get that GED. Don't be ashamed because there, when you get that GED, you're going to place you want. That's what you call affirmative action, you know. But you cannot do this because the Most High got the power. You don't have to be ashamed because you went out of school at the 6th or 7th, 8th grade. You got to go back. You can't teach nothing. All you got to do is get that GED. They got to give it to you, and all you got to do is go and show forth your power. And you ain't got nothing to worry about. But if you don't go to school, you ain't going nowhere. You got to have that education. And once you see and you have dropped out, and you have the opportunity to get a GED, it don't take much to pass, you know. But you got to get the academic for it because you can't go nowhere without it, you know. And I advise everybody, when you vote for the president this time, vote for Al Johnson. You don't know what the other votes is going to do. At least you can't lose out on nothing, you know. Because you know who you gave it to. Sit around and give votes to everybody but your people, you know. That's no good. So I'm just saying I'm glad to be here. And I'm saying peace.
Our next speaker is a God that's going to speak on the state of the nation. He is one that is well qualified to speak on the nation. This is our national spokesman for the nation of gods and earths. Been that way for years and we're not changing it. As Dumas once did.
this is the first time that I'm doing this. Not necessarily speaking because I like talking, but the first time I'm doing State of the Nation address. It's new to me in one sense of the word, but it's not in another. But the theme of the State of the Nation and where we're at and where we're going only can be based on the theme of Region 4, which is through growth and development. But to better understand the things that's going to follow and proceed out of my mouth, we must break down what we mean by growth. Not through the dictionary, but through our language. Everything we do must be applied through our language, which is the science of living mathematics. We all are brothers and sisters in one state of mind through the language of living mathematics, walking and talking, not through a misconception or quotation. So when we talk about growth, according to mathematics, it takes us to 3 dimensions that we must look at this from. And these 3 dimensions is based in depth, the deepness of something, the width, the wideness of something, and the height, the elevation of something. When we talk about the depth, this is the root, our knowledge, our foundation, which our nation was rooted in, that we stand upon. When we talk about the width of it, this is the expansion from which it starts from the root, is growth, known as the circumference. When we speak about the height, this is the elevation that we must apply ourselves as individuals and collectively to reach 7, to see the whole 3 dimensions of what we mean by growth. Because once you have the science of growth, then we can proceed to understand how we're going to bring about development. Because it is a fact that history has shown that a person can grow and is not developed. So this dimension of depth, width, and height, we all have, but some of us do not recognize it. So we study our lessons, and the greatest lesson we learn is to be responsible and to take our mathematics and apply it to the information known as questions and answers that we call degrees. So the best example I can show you that to let you know that the nation is not made up of foolishness, and that my speaking is only based on the direction that the nation is going. If you look at the 32nd degree and 140, tells the dimension of physical power of the real devil, which I'm not necessarily concerned with. But the first thing it explains to you that the original man has 7.5 ounces of original brain power. So this tells you the complete characteristic of that we are dealing in terms of describing, because our people are not physically dead, we are not physically dead, therefore it's based on a mental perspective. So that 7.5 ounces only represents the quality and the composition of what we will strive for. So what does that have to do with growth? The height that we strive for is that 7, that elevation which we must reach. That width, that's the wisdom that we learn from, the area that we travel in, the field of operation. That depth is that knowledge. So if you take that 7, and you take that 2 or that 1, and put it in comparable equation order, you get 7, 1, and 2, which is 7.5, which is the content and the makeup that we must strive for when we talk about growth. We're not talking about growth because he is 4 feet today and tomorrow he is 10 feet. We're not talking that type of growth. We're talking about growth in respect to mathematics that no one can deny, but we're talking about 7.5 ounces manifested in the 3 dimensions. Depth, width, height. Who is the original man? Height. It's how do we make our history? We make the Holy Final Bible. So I'm not going to quote that to you. How do we predict history and live it out right in fact, and we make our history and predict it according to what? Our width, our expansion, which is 2, which is the circumference of the planet Earth, which takes us back again to the root which we are found in. So therefore, that root allows us to have responsibility, accountability to do what we must do. So now we understand that phrase, so let's complete it, that when brothers and sisters from this region begin to speak, you would understand what they're speaking about on the theme of growth and development. What is being said is not happening overnight, because what we are trying to do in our difference is not based on instant coffee. It's based on time, a process. So this process allows us to have concepts, plant a seed, create a field of operation that everyone here, regardless of what region you come from, understand that growth and development is something that is real. It's based on the fact that if you are not here today, that your children or grandchildren will benefit from that development. It makes you understand that as a nation, the way we are going, we are not a virtue reality nation. We are a real nation. Meaning that we cannot live as a nation based on words. We must be applicable to the things that we say, tangible things. We have people who can speak well. I can speak well. Let me speak well. Other people can do other things well, and they must have that field of operation to do it. But sometimes, good intentions is not always necessarily good. It must be right and exact. So the field of operation must be presented. It must be presented by the men and women of this nation. Whether you like it or not, we are not a democracy. This is not a democratic process we're dealing with. This is a process of living mathematics. Meaning we're going through a birth record of 1 to 9. So as the national representative, the information has been fed to me, I must present 9 stages of development that we are in the process of doing and have with refinement. Development of the growth. There's a balance. The first one we have done, Department of Public Relations. Meaning that in the past when people spoke about the governor, everybody just jumped in and we just did anything. Now we have a mechanism of professional people to answer the media when they attack us, to answer them properly. The second one is the Department of Information, i.e. newspapers, digests, electronic medium, such as the internet, because in building a nation, information is one of the key functions that determine which way we go. So people open up things and read it, but these things may have our flag on it, but do not necessarily represent what we are about. So through that development, the Department of Information will give us our information, and we have the right to have a clearinghouse to screen anything that have a flag on it that's going to our nation. You get freedom of speech under this government. You can't say what you want to say just because you say peace. If you are free, then you say things that would enhance your brothers and sisters in our what? Nation. I can't speak on all these things, but this is what we are involved in as development. 3, Department of Finance. That is in the working. And the names may change, but as Beautiful Life and a lot of universal builders, they are putting down the works. You cannot build a nation based on thought and peace and passing the jar on putting in the dollar. You gotta pay taxes. You pay taxes on this government out here. If you're on the tax, you're on a dirt road. You cannot continue to work and you say that this man is weak and wicked, but you put your money in his bank. The same man you say he ain't nothing, but you trust with your money and he charges this man to get a loan to buy a house, but yet all the money you do, you put out, known as neo-colonialism, the last stage of imperialism, as Kwame Nkrumah wrote about. You may not say you're a slave, you may talk and walk, but you still are beholden to the person that you once was under, because you have no trust, not in the individual. You do not trust yourself because you are afraid. How can we be a nation if we cannot build something tangible, make money travel without minutes? So we have to develop not only with regard that department, but we have what we call the Entrepreneurs Association, where we be national. That every fellow who sells, not business are hustlers. We're talking about entrepreneurs who out walls, they build bricks and they got a building. Entrepreneurs, professional stage. That they sell anything with the flag on, even if we have, they must be licensed by the Entrepreneurs Association. The truth is that we don't stop people from coming making money off us because they got a flag on it and give us a penny and they walk over with $1 million. We are responsible people. We can no longer do this. You cannot teach your children that we are responsible for. Even your grandmother put money on the bed, but you want to take the money off the people because you scared to give to a God because he said he's God. We are a nation. We're not doing this, we're doing it in reality. Department of Correction, i.e. prevention, intervention, and reentry. Because there are brothers who is dealing with this situation of brothers who have been in the penal institution that prevention means we're going to stop it because we have to stop what crime. Intervention is they in the penal institution, for whatever reason may be, good, bad, or different, we're going to try to make them a better person. Reentry means that when they come home, we have people give them pre-vocational training, how to go on a job interview, resources, things that they need. We may have local community rights. You're not talking about the pen pal, put them straight on point. Any voting? The next one will be Department of Education. We must have skills, trades, and brothers who's in school cannot be getting D's and Harry Neckbone is getting A's and P's. That's not a balance. We must understand that in our regions, in our local and national, when we see children who need help, we must have tutorial teams. We must set up things where we can pull the children to understand what education is about, because one day we're going to have land we call our own. This is not no myth, not the school, but the land that we, as we live today, we want to live even higher than. But education is abroad. So what you hear me say today is only development that you must put together and think about and step up from these positions that is required. Next is Department of Political Science, i.e. government. Yeah, we got a government. These decisions ain't made because all in favor of waving your hand, you just came today and you going tomorrow. You got to earn the right to make these decisions. These decisions is based on a man-made setting. Brothers and sisters got to stop saying, well, we don't deal in politics. Politics don't mean understand the politics that is governing you. You cannot be in an area where you don't vote. You got to understand, you put a man out of office, you put a man in office on that local level. We must move as one. We must understand that everything these people do, they was taught, you said you prescribed it to them. Yeah, he was made to rule the people for a period of time. How you know? How you know the science or what politics is, political science? How could you understand that? You are step up and take positions, so we're not jumping on anybody. We are advocating y'all to step up. But now we know we must have these positions for you to go for it or not go for it. Our positions. This political science for the government. Next is Department of Health. This is a very important issue. When I was young, I say, I'm the true living God. God don't get sick. Lo and behold, was that not a lie and a myth that I told myself? I mean, I'm a doctor myself. Yeah, but I wouldn't be I'm a doctor in my mind and have nothing that when your body ill, you go to people with school to get education to heal your body. When your car broke, you don't go see a pump, you go to the gas station. Your car needs gas. If you don't know about it, then the mechanic gonna rob you blind. So we must take heed to our people, our older people in the nation. I'm 54. I'm getting 40 more than probably at the age of 16. But I'm not going to be crooked, I'm not going to crumble. But what happened if I was? You're supposed to take care of me. You got to understand health. There's all types of disease going around, so we got to have professional people who is our think tank. We're not guessing. Sometimes, brothers and sisters, they say the school say you got to get a child, got to get a shot. Well, I'm not giving my child a shot, but now the child is suspended. Health is important. In our community, especially in environmental areas, there's an increased respiratory problems among the black, brown, yellow community. Lead poisoning. You say the earth is your home. If the earth is your home, then you have to be concerned about these particular things that take place in your environment, the man-made environment and natural environment, part of health. The next one is Department of National Security. As it stands now, it's nice that when we go to a parliament, we go various places. You know, we got 30 others that's in the reserve doing part-time security. But we're talking about national security, that what security that's in one is security in all. But it's a process they gotta learn. Security ain't just looking bad and acting bad. All y'all is in the reserve because you gotta understand there's no retirement. So well, how do you do your security? We want people to understand that there's an order, there's a process, there's a protocol. Those on security are here for our benefit. We want, in the Department of Security, you want to have a Department of Investigation. Why? Because the father set our mind that we have a Department of Investigation. How we know? Because we had Rajab. Anytime something went wrong, Rajab when investigating came and gave it back. So in each region, we got established Department of Investigation where brothers, oh, you up, Bond, you ready to go kill somebody who gets killed for a false cry. And then it's our responsibility because we let y'all do that. We did not get this far. When I say we mean the guards up in age. Ain't no old guard, ain't no young guard. We all one in what the same. You're not going to do what you want to do in our nation because we will subpoena you. That's right. We have our own subpoena. If you get a letter with a letterhead with a flag on it, you're supposed to do something you don't do. You're going to get subpoena. You're going to be served by our security force and the paper don't work, and we'll do it another way. Because y'all not going to run us away. Our job is make sure these children have a right and give y'all the opportunity to blossom like y'all want to blossom. But some of y'all that may be scared to talk. I don't blame you. Because you walk in a dangerous area because there's underground currents of politics, so we're going to eliminate it because our security going to run them out. The next one is arts, science, and culture. From a mathematical perspective, we say that our culture is our what? Our God, a way of life. But arts is not like drawing, the arts. Meaning that one of my children, he was accepted in seven colleges. Every college he applied for, he was accepted in. That means he had a choice. Because we gave him a choice to keep him off the street and take his mind from negativity to creativity. He was in drum and bugle for travel, drama, plays, skits. Not only for children, but for adults. Many of y'all aspire to do things, but when y'all come to knowledge, y'all think we don't deal with this stuff, but we just both let it. That's nonsense. Science. Science can be many things. But one of the things we have always tried to do during the show and prove, which it didn't fail, it didn't come the proper way because we did not have the proper medium, which we have the proper medium now, which is Isaiah and his team. Accordingly, we got the nation broken down into regions now. So next year at the show and prove, if we desire to do a science fair, we're going to have a big science fair. Why? Because each region going to have this local science fair, and they're going to take 4 finalists from each region, which we got 9 regions. I mean, we got 36 finalists. Therefore, they'll all come to the national show and prove for the national science fair. This is how we got to do it. Because now we're preparing our youth and our children to understand science. It's a study instead of saying you're a scientist. We teach them they are scientists. Why? Because they science things up. They science up. If they're not doing the proper things. Those are only 9. Give you something to think about, because we go according to what? The birth record. So when you hear me speak, I've learned to master the skill to sound good. And necessarily look good. But my words are not my individual words. My words is only a collective body from God and earth that I listen to because we build in a what? Mindset. The mindset that we deal in it manifests the growth. It controls the growth, and the growth manifests the development. Or you get tall. They go develop muscles. They stop developing the muscles, those muscles turn into what? Fat. So now y'all have to develop the concept that you guard in your earth, but if it's not proper development, it turns to fat and waste because you're just wasting your what? Time. Because this man, he don't care. If his thought can kill you, why his thoughts kill our people, so the people never get to see the thought maker because they claim they are growing, youngsters growing, big breasts, young men growing, mustache, gold teeth, but do a microscope look at them, none but babies. On the outside, it is well. They can't control their physical genes, but we as grown men and women, we understand that because we went through that process, we understand the meaning of growth, and we understand the application of development. It's not a theory, it's something that's proper. In real life, if a person at a certain age do not continue to exercise, his development stops, he gets crickets. He can't, my word, I get some laughter. I was trying to catch a bus one day, running. I'm a female to the driver. I felt funny. I forgot how to run, I ain't running a long time. Felt heavy, I know I have to run, but the body ain't doing it because I'm looking good, I'm developing the gut, but my mind's all right, but it's not proper development if I want to get another 50 years into this. So we want the people to understand what we say, that we are predicting, we are projecting history. We want this, and this ain't no theory. We're going to have this. And we're asking people to understand the direction we're going, so the state of the nation's direction is this. We're going to create full operation for each and every individual to have a position. We were told from a roto-rooter man to an architect, and plain terms, from a janitor to an architect. Why? Because we're going to stop thinking the architect is greater than the janitor, because your perception of life and education is only through the growth of a misconception opposed to the growth of the mathematical development of these 9 stages that we have created that everybody can have a position. But everybody says the architect is greater. No, he may build a great building, but suppose the janitor's going to come out and keep the building closed, so it avoids the greatness because the building will be closed for health reasons, health hazards. So I got 10 seconds? 5 seconds? giving the State of the Nation address, it's an ongoing process. And everybody got to be involved in this process. But as of today, we are doing fine, because we always teach. All it takes is what? One. If you go to the parliament, people say, well, the volume do. The volume looking fine. It's looking fine. Brothers trying to get more creativity as being entrepreneurs, and through the leadership of Father Bashan, he gonna run the vendors away and make them entrepreneurs with creativity. Because part of that direction we want to go in, we know the rally in Mecca and Region 1 may be the last Sunday of every month, but we now want you to say, well, the Entrepreneur Association, they have a bazaar the third Saturday of every month. So although you could go across the street and buy a sock for $1, but you don't go an extra mile and buy that sock from your brother that third parliament, because history shows that even 85% don't shop at local stores. They go to Kisco, they go to wholesale. People have bus rides to Jersey, not to pay taxes to the post. I mean, they save money. So what makes y'all any less than they? And must I remind you in my closing back to the 3 dimensions of growth, 7.5, but then the physical part of that growth that will stop you from growing is that the devil power is less than 1/3 that of the original man. So now you want to know, what is the physical power or the physicality power of the original man? It says 23 million square miles. So a third of 23 is 7, so less than a third, gotta be 6. So through his equality, by keeping you illiterate to grow and understand property development, you become a desert land, not only to him, but also to us. How we know that? Because you fall back into that state of not knowledge and culture and become an 85%, strong within your power, opposed to building in your power. I don't need that. We need golden rule man. We need everybody gotta have a trade. Everybody gotta be accountable. There's a job for everybody. If you're over 16, if you don't want a job, then go about your business. We don't use no force. But you cannot make me run away and say, I don't come to the parliament, I don't mess with God for being doing it. We're doing a lot of things. You can study Journal Monk. We don't have no Journal Monk. We're going to run you away from our roots. We teach that our woman is our home, and if we do not protect and do things right, y'all going to infiltrate her and make us feeding food. Because we say God came in one day and took the devil off the planet. Not one physical day, but we went through the knowledge of who is the original man by understanding that first dimension of growth, which is the root, the depth, took off the planet. So we gave her a field to operate in. It's not to raise babies, but to participate. To work. We want equal partnership to a certain point. Go to war, she can't go to war. That girl got corner window scared to death. No telling what they did to her. Everybody got to know their place, what I'm trying to say. So our direction is based on those points, but basically, everybody got to stand up and be counted. So when they ask you, Duma did the State of the Nation address, what was his theme? He said, everybody stand up and be counted. Responsibility will bring about what? Accountability. And on that note, y'all have a good day, but only put a plug in what I mean through our finance department, believe me. I have one of the greatest things that I didn't realize. I want to tell my son, he said, when your father's long gone, he left a legacy. And that legacy is that we're not a game. And I'm very proud to say that I've run these particular things that y'all can purchase these things. I'm not scared to take the money. Let's get the money to flow amongst each other. This is my plug. But it's a beautiful taking. All y'all should have one. And I'm in a discount mode. I think the direction of the nation is very well. That's only a preview. And one more thing. The Saturday before the show improved in Region 1, we're having a national regional conference. The national means that all the regions in the nation is coming to Mecca to continue to set direction on these issues that we can be real in a real nation. There's no leaders and no followers, but we do have what? Leadership. So I've said my part. I'm glad to be here. Y'all look beautiful. If you have a speck in your eye, get it out and understand that everything is right. Peace. Peace.
We're going to have a 15-minute break. Everyone, please return promptly in 15 minutes. Peace.
Peace. Peace, Bob.
All right. Y'all ready?
Peace. Greetings to the nation of gods and earths. Welcome to the region of... Myself now,
Well, before that, make it the story. You gonna have to go either or.
Jefferson Avenue 6, right?
It's 11216 for
Yeah, Rashay does videotaping, he does a wonderful job, and I want everybody to recognize him. He's been doing it for a while, and God do it from the heart. You know, so give him a hand again. Our region for security codes is security is yellow. Our region for cities in Virginia is Charlotte, Queen City, Greensboro, which is known as God City. We have Lexington, which is the heart, and Raleigh-Durham. And I also like to mention Asheboro. And South Carolina, we have Columbia and Charleston. In Atlanta, we have a large garden. We have a concern for builders with the mindset of our laws to bring forth